Hey everybody. I was just wondering if there was no sound because it was just you. I also did not have sound. And I was like, why do I not have sound? But the power went off while I was gone. So I didn't have it. Did everybody else have sound? I was like, there's no music. Yeah, I don't know what happened there. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Friday Coffee Chat. It's going to be a fun day. Let me know that you can hear me. We're all good. My power, I think, went off multiple times while I was gone. So, yes, there was sound. Okay. Just a few of us didn't have sound. I just literally picked up this t-shirt from Digital Candy Luxe. They have so many cool things on their Etsy shop that are printables, and then they just happen to have this one in a t-shirt too. It's so cute. Let me show you the back. It's super like oversized. I am wearing shorts. Is that so cute? It's like I got it super oversized so that it would be like just a baggy tee, and it's so cute. I love it. And I just got it in the mail, like literally. So yes, reorganizing. So George put together these tops. These are the toppers for the bookshelves. And on Monday, we have a handyman coming for 2 hours to put together all the rest of everything. And then on Monday through Friday next week, I have a team of organizers coming to the house to organize my house. Like, this is an ultimate like dream of mine, and I have somehow managed to make it happen. And I'm very both nervous and excited because I just feel like I have not had the time to do it myself. And it feels like I'm constantly shuffling things around, and I have a lot of stuff, and I continue to get more stuff, especially stuff like this. Washi tapes and things like that. And then, more notebooks. So did I just buy new stuff? Yes, I just bought new stuff when we were in Boston. I'll tell you about that in a second. So I'm going to be going through and decluttering like everything while they are also cleaning and organizing. And we're not doing the whole house because that would be like a lot, like they would be here for weeks. But we are doing this office. So next week, hopefully by the time we get here for coffee chat, these shelves will just be gorgeous and put together and styled and everything else. And this is like, I searched and searched. It is not the actual home edit, but I will tell you, when I went and looked on their Instagram, it looks like the home edit, but they of course will use the containers and stuff that I already have. So we're going to try to not buy new stuff. We're going to try to use everything that I already have and just make it work in the space. So that's what I'm hopeful for. And I'm hoping, I don't know, I'm nervous. I'm hoping that it's worth it. I hope they do a good job, but I will say, like, they bring in black labels and everything. So they're going to label all of my like shoe boxes and planner and stationery areas and everything in my closet. They label everything for you, and they just use their labels on your own containers. I'm so excited. I'm so ready for this. So they literally come all day, every day next week. So I'm going to still try to be getting some of my own work done, but it is also possible and likely that I will be putting together some like craft decluttering boxes like I had done when we were moving. So there were a couple of people at the time that, if you remember this, I don't know if you remember this, that back in the day when I was moving, there were like 2 or 3 people whose boxes got packed and didn't get sent out. So if that was you and you're still part of our community, I will be reaching out to you and seeing if you want to get a new declutter box, because I do have a lot of things that I'll probably be giving away, including some notebooks and things that I have not used in a while, or who knows, like candles and washi tapes and who knows what, because I want to make sure everything fits and everything has a place. So I did not ask them if I could record their process, and I don't really want to slow anybody down by like vlogging it. But what I am going to do is I'm going to go through and vlog everything in terms of how it looks like. I'm going to take photos and just all the different things of how the spaces look that they're tackling, because the main spaces are going to be, this room is the main priority because you can't see it from here, but there's a closet right here that, because this was a bedroom, that is a massive closet, and I'm so lucky to have that space, but it just needs to be organized. So that's like a lot of my craft, all my tarot cards, all of my candles that are for like, crystals and other things like that are in that closet, plus all of this. So this is one, like main number one. The second part is our entryway and living room, where we have all of Evie's like sensory bins, and we have mail that keeps coming in and stuff like that. And then the room and closet where I do my heart breathings recording. So those are kind of the main spaces. And then if we can also get my bedroom closet, that's the kind of the extra space. And she said, maybe depending on how it goes, there will be time to do the toy room and game room upstairs. But I'm doubtful that we're going to get to that, because I think there's more than they realize. But this is kind of, I guess, my Mother's Day gift, is this massive help with the house. And I will definitely let you guys know how it went, and I will tell you who did it if anybody's in the Dallas area. I think they also have a couple other places in the country. So it's a team of people coming, and I'm very excited. Okay, let me show you real quick. So I just got back from Boston on Wednesday. We will talk about that trip in just a second. But one of the fun things is, I remember I auditioned for, I think it was like Boston Conservatory of Music. I cannot remember, because I auditioned for graduate school for so many places. Like I auditioned all over the country. But I remember going to Boston, and I had a friend at the time who was at that college, and she took me around, and I got to stay with her, and she took me to a Sanrio store. And this was probably, I guess, 1999. For those of you that remember those days, and if you are too young to remember that, then that is awesome. But that dates me a little bit. So this was the year I graduated college. I went to audition for graduate schools and things like that. Close up on the manicure. Yes. So I did like kind of like a French manicure with black. And then some of them, if you see this, I don't know that will show up, but Evie put stickers on some of them because she was like, let me put stars on them. So, oh, so funny. So I was 22. I was 22 in 1999. And I remember like I had loved and adored and been obsessed with Hello Kitty when I was younger. And just kind of during some of my college years and stuff, you just couldn't find a lot of Hello Kitty stuff. And of course, it wasn't the same where we have like online stores now back in the early 90s, right? So it was just sort of like if I saw Hello Kitty stuff out at a mall or somewhere, I could get it, but I didn't have like grand access to it. And I very specifically remember going to Boston for that audition. And she was like, oh, I have to take you to the Sanrio store. And it was this entire store full of, and many of you know those Sanrio stores, the small gift, big smile. And it was like walking into the place of my dreams, but I had no money to spend. I think I might have walked away with like a pencil or something because I had no money, which was fine. It was just still beautiful to see it. I remember there being a keyboard for a computer that it was like $100 and something. And I literally almost cried because I couldn't afford it. It was so nice. But when we were getting ready to go to Boston this time, I was like, I wonder if that store is still there. Well, sadly, not there. The only full Sanrio stores I think available anymore in the country, which is kind of sad, are Hawaii and California. But there are still like Sanrio licensed places. And so I looked, long story short, when I was going to Boston, I was like, let me look and see if there are any Sanrio stores. And there was a place called Teehee that is like 20 minutes away from where we were staying. And I was wanting to go. I mentioned in the Discord server that I wanted to go, but it was going to cost me something like $40 each way to take an Uber. And I was thinking, I really don't want to spend $80 plus tip just to go over to that store and spend more money. But I really wanted to see it. So it was super, super awesome. I don't know if she's here today, but Caitlin Duncan, who I have called Catlin Duncan I was saying her whole life, like as long as I've known her, but it's Caitlin, I now know. She was she had her car, and like she and Cassie and Casey, who I don't know if Cassie's here. Cassie, are you here? And Casey will be here in a little bit. But this is like part of our Friday Coffee Chat crew, our Discord crew. They got together and they were like, we're taking you to Teehee for lunch today. So on day 2 of the conference, after I had done my speech and stuff, we took off to Teehee, and then we went to a little place called Esme's, I think, cafe. And I had my very first ever Vietnamese coffee that was so delicious. And I also had my very first ever Japanese milk bread. And even the owner was so excited that I had ordered the milk bread sandwich, because she was like, this is my favorite thing. And it was the cutest, like most delicious food. And when I was checking out of the store at Sanrio, the girl that was checking me out was like, this is the biggest order I think we've had all year. I was like, well, yes. I went a little bit crazy. So I will show you a little bit of what I got. So they had these Kuromi fortune teller ones. It's like a surprise box for enamel pins. And I said to myself, I'm going to pick the one that has the crystal ball, because that's the one I want. There's one where she has tarot cards too, that I was like, that's the one I would want. But this is the one I got, was the super cute crystal ball. Angela said, dear cashier, you just don't know. It's like, yes, you do not understand my passion. So I got this. I also got, look how cute this was. Not a Sanrio item, but it was just like a little sticky pad with cherries on it. And then I also got this little notebook that has the sundae with the cherries on top. And okay, so many of you know that I love, I just saw Rebecca's here. Hey, Rebecca. Many of you know, obviously, that I love Tokidoki. So what happens if we combine Hello Kitty, Tokidoki, and cherries? Like literally what? I mean, I literally almost died in the middle of the store. So this is a Tokidoki character called Cherry Berry, and Hello Kitty is dressed up as her. I know it's such a simple thing in life, but I am obsessed. Love it. So anyway, this is my favorite thing. So immediately when I got home, I had to also go look on the Tokidoki website to see if they have more Hello Kitty Cherry Berry stuff, and they do. So I'm going to have to start saving up for another shopping trip. But that's not everything I got, but that's some of it. I also got a stand. And I got, right, it's like, how is this possible? And also, thank you to everybody who has tagged me I have gotten no less than 50 tags or messages about the new Coach collection, or it's at the Coach outlet that's called Cherry on Top. And it's like, if there's one store that I have more bags from, it's Coach. It's like my favorite. And they have a cherry collection. And I'm like, why is this happening to me? It's so exciting, but it's also like, oh my gosh. So yes, I need to get some things out of my house, and then I need to stop buying stuff. But it does feel like serendipity. It's like the world, it just keeps showing me signs that like, this is the right path. And I have to tell you, so here's my story about Boston. Also, happy birthday, Diana. Are you here? Are you here? Happy birthday, Diana. Just to give a shout out. Thank you for spending some of your birthday with us. I love that. So I went to Boston. This was my 3rd trip in a row, obviously. And I had a pretty bumpy ride over there. We were going through storms. They didn't do it was almost a 4-hour flight, and they didn't do any service on the flight because the flight attendants had to be seated and buckled in the whole time. I would call it still mild turbulence on the way there. Boston itself was incredible. So I was there for the Subscriptions for Authors Summit, which I did get to speak at. And the very first night we were there, Casey had arranged a Hardy's get together. So I got to meet, if you're on the Discord server, Carla, who is Pika Girl, and Darby was there, and Willow Byrne was there. We had an amazing group. It was a group with some great women and a couple husbands. Teresa was there. Tia Maurice was there. So good to meet her. So it was like seeing people that I see in my community in real life, which was amazing. So that is a conference connected to Ream, but it's open to any type of subscription. So if you're doing like Kindle Vella or Radish, that kind of counts because those are serial type things. But really, it's more for like authors others who are running like a Patreon or something from their own website or something like Ream, where you have like a monthly subscription. Yay, there's Teresa. It was so good to meet you too. It was a highlight for me. So, and thank you for grabbing my dinner. That was very sweet. It was just really, really fun to start the event out like that. And then it was a small group. It was a really small conference, like probably about 70 people only. And it was great because we got to hear from people who have really successful six-figure subscriptions, people that are doing really cool things with their fans. And it just, I don't even know if I can properly express to you all, but you guys are my crew. Like you are my like family here on our Friday coffee chats. I can't even express how much this idea of the subscription, finishing and getting towards the end of Vanessa Shaw, thinking and planning and plotting A Mirror of Shadows and book 12 and how this is all going to work together. Kylie, who is my audiobook narrator, she had a baby, so we only got book 1 finished. Now she's going to be starting book 2. It's like there's some things going on in the background with Shadow Demons too that I can't talk about publicly yet, but someday, maybe, hopefully. There's just so much good momentum. Yay, Diana is here. Happy birthday to you. There's so much good stuff happening. Yes, you guys are my ride or die, and I love you all so much, and I can't even tell you how much it means to me to have you all and to be thinking about how do I surprise and delight and create fun experiences for us? Because I think one thing that has become increasingly clear. Thank you. This is so cute. I love those hearts. One thing that has become increasingly clear over the last few years is that the world is going to, especially as connected as we are, there's a lot of amazing things that connection brings to us. And then there's also a lot of difficult things that connection brings to us, such that we can see everything going on in the world. And we could literally spend our whole lives being heartbroken by some of the horrible things that are happening in the world and by the way people treat each other online. And, if we just allow ourselves, like if we feel alone and we're just scrolling through, it can be really easy, I think, to start to feel worried for the future. And I think that part of that, not to get too much into the negative part, because I am definitely in a very good mood and I want to keep that going. But I do feel like what we need more and what I want to create more of is spaces where we can feel like we're connected, because bad news, toxicity, anger, all of that tends to get more press and more screen time than the joyful things, because it's like we're human nature to want to see what's going on. And I get that. And of course, we're pulled into things, but I feel a renewed passion. And part of it comes from the last few trips. I feel a renewed passion to continue to create spaces that are just for let's have some fun together, but not in a toxic positivity way where we don't share for real, but like a true authentic space where we connect with each other and we feel like we know each other and we know we're there for each other and we care about each other and we share interests and we share, like, we may not share the same opinions on everything, but we don't have to, because we appreciate each other's humanity. And that's like what I want to create, is a place where, like, a world where we know there are still heroes in the world and there are still friends and there are still people to connect with and still a reason to be alive and a reason to go for our goals and a reason to love and to spread joy and fun. And I just want that, because the alternative, all those things are still going to be out there, and those things are going to be important for us to pay attention to and raise our voice against and spend our money on and fight. And there's those things in the world are going to be important still, but we have to find balance, right? It can't just be all difficulty all the time, especially when there's so many things happening in the world that are out of our direct control. It's like, I want to create a space where we say, there's still beauty in the world and we can still make a difference as a group of people, not by being activists in the world, but also by showing up for each other and saying, I'm here for you and I got your back and I love you. And having a place where when you're having a hard day, you can go in and you can get lost in a story and you can feel seen and you can connect with a friend like that. I feel such a renewed passion for that. And I think that honestly, so first of all, the Ream conference in and of itself, well, I shouldn't call it Ream conference, but it really was. But it's subscriptions for authors, storytellers rule the world. That conference was so good because it was really a group of people that weren't focused on how do I market, how do I make more money, how do I, which is valid. Like we all, if we want to be able to write, we need to make a living at doing it, right? We need to make it worthwhile. Nobody can afford edits and all that stuff without making money. But I feel like so many author conferences these days, especially indie conferences, are so focused on how do you make money, even at the expense of your readers, which blows my mind because it's like, who gives you the money? Like, who are you doing this for? It's like, I write for me, but really every word I write, I have my reader in mind. Like I know with Vanessa Shaw exactly what journey I'm taking you on. I know that how I know that it won't affect everyone the same, but I know for my people what you're going to think and what I'm leading you toward and how you're going to feel every step of that journey. And that is what's exciting for me. That's why I'm doing it. Not, oh, because I need to make this amount of money to make it worth it. It's because I want you to feel and I want you to pick up that book when it comes out. And despite the fact that it has taken me 2 years to write it, I want you to read it in 10 hours, like I want you to not be able to put it down and to feel something and to feel hopeful. And I want it to make you cry and laugh and be scared and like all those things. Like I want to bring you on that journey. And it was so awesome to be in a place like, there was zero thing at this event that felt like competition or anybody that made me feel like I wasn't good enough or anything else. It was just purely a conference where you felt like everyone's trying to share ideas and lift each other up and like help each other and have fun. And like, how can we make this a cool experience for our readers and our communities? And man, that felt really, really good. It just was amazing conversations. And it was so fun too, because there was the first night, there was a dinner that was, they called it a salon that I led called Planning for Success. And we had maybe about 15 or 20 people were there at my dinner. So there were other authors leading different conversations. And we had a really great group at ours. And we talked a lot about what does success mean for you and like what are the next steps you're taking towards success. And when it was over, they had they did record my speech, but I don't know if I'll answer that in just a second. So after, it was kind of like an old school salon, like, right. We're all at dinner at a table together and we're all having a discussion and everybody kind of went around and shared. It was really great. But afterward, they were doing like a Ream after dark that was an 8 to 11 kind of casual thing back at the event. And I thought, I don't know that I can do that and still prepare myself for my speech because I had been up since 4 a.m. the night before, like the day before. So I was like, okay, I'm just going to call it an early night. And then Casey and Cassie said, well, do you want to just go with us real quick and get some ice cream? So we walked down the street to go get ice cream. And we were in a super cute neighborhood. And we did actually pass like a tarot and crystal place, but it had just closed. And I was like, man, that would have been cool to go into. But we went to this ice cream place and we ended up staying out talking till 11 anyway. And that was it was so fun. It was great. So then I worked on my speech, got some sleep, got up the next day, and I had the second speech of the day on day 2, and my talk was how to put your readers first. And I got a little bit vulnerable. So Michelle says that if you signed up for the virtual conference, you'll get the videos from the live conference as well as some additional speakers. So there's your answer to that. I think you can still join that. It's next weekend, the 17th through the 19th, I believe. So I'm pretty sure you can still hang out for that. So where I got a little bit vulnerable with this speech is because part of putting your readers first is the type of stuff that we do and the types of things that I do. But the fifth tip that I had out of 5 was to build trust. And I feel like this is the main place where I have failed a lot of my readers because it has been very difficult over the last 3 years or so to really write to a schedule and to be, you know, all in on the writing part of it. And I know that you guys understand because you're here every week, and those of you on the replay, like hello replayers, you guys know, but there's a lot of like thousands of my readers don't realize that I have this other sort of side of me where I do a lot of live streams and I have two kids, and that I have a YouTube channel where I have 3 courses and all of those kind of things. But I've been spending so much of my time over there that, like in the heart breathings world, that has just been more difficult to balance and figure things out. And there are times when I look at myself and I'm like, what is wrong with you? Get this book done. So I'm living my life, but I'm also like, I'm never not thinking or working on my books. I've always got something going, but I just haven't been able to be finishing things. So putting that into perspective, there's a few thoughts about my subscription, which one is I really want to make sure that what I'm creating with the Broken Chapter Society, which, oh, let me show you. I got my first swag. Why is my desk such a mess? I got our first swag for Broken Chapter Society, which is, I bought both of the logos. So I bought the one that we loved the most, which has the BC and the S in it. And I also bought the moon with the key. And I got this holographic sticker with this one. Yay. It's so cute. So anybody who joins will be getting this in the founders group. So there's stuff starting to come in that will be lots of fun surprises for people who join. But yes, since the pandemic, thank you, Taryn. It's like it affected everyone in different ways. And for me, not to continue to bring it up or anything, it's not really an excuse, but I also had other things, right, going on. 222. I always see like that 222 comes up when I'm like, okay, I need a little courage to just be true to myself, right? But I love when the universe winks at you. It's just the best ever. But I had, someone threatening a lawsuit to me. We had lost our house. We were moving around a lot. I was trying to keep our income up. I was trying to keep I was trying to keep our lives going. Everybody was worried about health. And, I feel like a lot of people got more toxic during that time in terms of the messages and the DMs that I was getting. A lot of people were angry that I was on the road with my family and different things like that. So it took me a little bit of time to get settled in this house, to get settled in just in my body and my feelings of safety. And I feel like my writing can only really jump and springboard off a place where I feel like my basic security is there. And so considering that, let's fast forward to the end of the conference. So I woke up on Wednesday morning, and Casey, who I don't know if she's here yet because she said she had a meeting or something she had to go to, but Casey Ezel, which many of you know on Discord as Sevilla Lost. I don't know if that's how you say it, but she was there at this conference. We spent a lot of time together talking and just really enjoying each other's company. And she offered to take me to the airport. So I checked out of my hotel. She picked me up. We went to this amazing cafe called Cafe Nero, which had books all in it. It was just great. It was like if I lived in Boston, I would be at this coffee shop. And we talked, and she actually had brought her tarot cards. So she did a reading for me. We had so much fun. And it just reminded me that, like, I wish that I could sit down with each one of you like once a year. Oh, you have a Cafe Nero in the UK. That's cool. I wonder if it's the same thing. I don't know if it was a chain or not, but it just reminded me, spending time with her, spending time with people that like you that I've known online, that these connections that we're making here are real, and they translate into the let me put it on it was like cafe with two F's and Nero. I'm pretty sure. I have to look it up. I don't think it had 2 R's, but it had 2 F's and like slash, what is that accent? But anyway, it just reminded me because after going to Go Wild, where I got to meet a lot of people, and then Pikes Peak, where I got to hang out with so many amazing people from Heart Breathings and from Sarra Cannon, and then getting this, it was like 3 events in a row where I got this confirmation that what we are building here is not just something surface level. Like what we are building here is real. And I have to tell you, like, who's a Taylor Swift fan, and I will go ahead and apologize to anybody who's like, I'm sick of hearing about Taylor Swift, but I had Torture Poets on repeat on the plane on the way to Boston, and I've been listening to it a lot. And in that Amy song where she says, the whole time you were throwing punches, I was building something. I think that's somewhere around there. And I just was like, every time I hear that, I'm like, yes. So for all the people that, were whatever they were going through at the time, whether it was really about me or not, all the people that have been throwing punches at me, I've been building something here that's real. And just getting to meet everybody in person, like a handful of you all in person, has just been life affirming for me, that our relationship, the way we care about each other, is something special. And I just want to continue to deepen that in this subscription. And the subscription will almost be like, it'll be a way for those who are super fans to be a part of my energy. Like, it's not going to be something where it's like, oh, you get X amount of, it's not transactional. Like, it's not like you're buying a t-shirt, right? It's not like you sign up for $5 a month and you get X amount of books. It's more about the community. Like, it's for people who want to support me in what I'm doing. And it's going to be potentially more like, we might do full moon and new moon ceremonies for people who want to come join. We might do Venom Zoom calls. We might do bonus short stories. We're going to potentially, you'll just get random things in the mail from me, like little love notes and different things like this, even when you don't expect it. But it'll be a chance for me to surprise and delight you and to share with you all kinds of things. So we might do reading sprints or writing sprints. We might actually do a weekly. I was just talking to George. We went for an hour walk today, and we were saying, wouldn't it be fun for people that have been wanting to do the reading sprints if we said, okay, let's do a 2-hour private Zoom call once a week, where you can get on Zoom with me and you can either read, write, or plot. You could also clean or do whatever. You could watch TV. But I will be doing one of the 3, reading, writing, or plotting. And in that Zoom, when we take breaks, I'll share with you like something I wrote today that seems fun. And then some of you can come on and share some stuff. Like, I think it would be really fun. Cafe Nero is coming to DC in July. That's so awesome. I didn't realize it was a chain, but if they all are kind of decorated the same way, definitely go check it out. I think it's the same as the UK, looking on TripAdvisor. Oh my gosh. If you are close to one, go check it out because it was amazing. Who would choose cleaning? Haha. Yeah, some people will choose cleaning. But just like, let's lean into it. But it also, I know when I'm thinking about it in terms of, for me, it cannot become the kind of thing where it's like, it feels like pressure. Like, if I don't get this out, I'm disappointing people or whatever, because I'm going to have to ease my way into it. So I got to figure out exactly what that looks like, because it's going to be as consistent as I can make it. But I also know there might be times where I'm like, okay, I'm having a bad week and I need a break. So we're just going to have a live, but no story. And I need the freedom to be able to do that, right? Cleaning versus plotting. Oh my gosh. I wrote most of my master's thesis in a Cafe Nero. I can see that it was the coolest atmosphere. We had the best time. So, I'm glad to hear that. I feel like my hair looked cuter in the mirror today, but George and I went for a walk for over an hour. Oh, I hear an Evie. What do you have? Is this a gift for Mother's Day?
Happy Mother's Day!
Oh, I love it. Look at this, you guys. How did you make this?
I used a coffee filter, then Miss Gina put a pom-pom in it, and then Miss Gina put that stick. Is this for me?
No, that's mine. Typical Evie. Is this for me? Because It looks like it's for a child, but no, we can share it.
Yeah.
I love you. Thank you so much. Look at how cute.
Mama, will you play with me after?
I will, and then we'll go shopping to get Sophia a present, okay? Give me kisses. Okay, I'll see you after.
I need love on.
Okay, I love on you too.
And scratch.
Oh,
Bye.
bye-bye.
I do cherries on the back of your shirt.
She said, I like your cherries on the back of your shirt. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I know it's 35 after. How does this hour go by so fast? I don't know. But anyway, okay. So thinking about the feelings that I've been having, all of those things, but also feeling like I don't want to break trust with my readers anymore. Like I really want to work on sustainability and other things like that. So thinking about that, let's fast forward to I get on the plane. She does not have a brace on anymore. She is healed. And then what do we have on tomorrow? Another birthday party at a gym. So pray for us because it's her best friend. So we have to go. But I'm nervous. I'm like, please, I'm just gonna. I might actually send her in the brace to the thing. I'm scared. I'm a little nervous. But anyway, okay. So is Gabriella here? By the way, I'll have to see if she's here. I feel like you are here, Gabriella, because you said something that made a difference to me. So I get on the plane to come home, and it was American Airlines, and I was in a middle seat. And I was in between two dudes. There was no conversation being had. They both had headphones in. So I put headphones in and I was reading Wheel of Time books for a while. I did see the 222 again, right as I started to say that. So I was reading that at first, and then the pilot comes on, or maybe it's the flight attendant, and he says, okay, we're going to be going through a rough storm. So I need everybody to find your seats, put away any of your two dudes and an author get on a plane, right? So it's not a good thing when the pilot says for the next hour we're going to be going through a rough storm, and so we need all the flight attendants. It must have been the pilot, because he said I need all the flight attendants to find a seat and strap in. Please secure everything underneath your bags, put up your seat tray tables, like everything needs to be stowed. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh. And I know, so this will be my little trigger warning for anybody. I won't go into too much detail, but if you are scared of planes, maybe fast forward or mute me for a minute. I know, first of all, turbulence is uncomfortable, but it's not actually dangerous. Usually planes are made for this. They are designed for this. It is normal. Yeah, time to curl up in a fetal position. Yeah, just when they take away the drinks, you really need a drink. Exactly, Dee Dee. I was like, oh my gosh. So I was like, okay, I need something more than my Kindle. Like we could still have our laptops out, but they just wanted us to be whatever we had to be holding it. And I'm just like, oh my gosh. So I had downloaded The Idea of You, which is Anne Hathaway's new age gap romance, which by the way, I thought was pretty good, but it was also like maybe traumatic to watch it while also going through turbulence. But I turned that on with my headphones thinking watching a movie will be more immersive. And it was actually helpful. But there came a point where I swear we probably dropped 50 to 100 feet in free fall. And everybody was screaming, and it was terrifying. And it was funny because George was looking back on my Fitbit or my Google Watch to see what my heart rate was. And it was 151 like beats per second or whatever. It was like not beats per second. I would be dead. My heart rate was at 151 beats per minute, because like for a sustained period of time. I have been through turbulence before, like where it was just kind of like bumpy like this, but it felt like we were on the Tower of Terror free fall. Like I have never experienced a plane, but apparently when I went to look it up later, a lot of times what's actually happening, for those, I just scared you. It's really often that like a wind gust picks up the plane and then it sort of just falls back down. But it doesn't fall onto anything. Like there's no impact. It's just you get caught back, you get in this air pocket. So it's not actually dangerous. It just feels like a roller coaster, right? So Tower of Terror, I looked it up afterwards, falls 130 feet. And it just a funny personal space joke. When I did the Tower of Terror, when we were at Disney last time, there was the cutest, like probably 20 something girl sitting next to me. And it was during pandemic time. So we all had masks on and everything. And I felt like I can't breathe in this mask because it was just, it just kept falling, and it was falling more than I remember. And I reached out and grabbed her leg, and she just grabbed my hand and started crying or started laughing at me. It's like, I'm so sorry. I did not mean to grab your leg. Personal space. But anyway, luckily she was okay with it. Better me than George grabbing her leg, I guess. But he would never be caught on Tower of Terror anyway for $1 million. But anyway, that's all I will say about that. It was a scary flight. It was the scariest flight I've ever been on. And I was crying, like no shame. I was crying. And I honestly started thinking things like, does George have my password to my business bank account? Like all the things that I haven't gotten done, like what are my last messages? Could I leave a message on my phone, and would they be able to find it if the plane crashes? Like my brain was just going into catastrophic mode. And it just scared me. And I think it's like between the struggle of that moment, and eventually it was fine. But even there was still another full like hour and a half left of the flight after that hour of terror. Instead of Tower of Terror, it was an hour of terror. After that, we still had an hour and a half plus of flight left. And I just was nervous the whole time, right? And can George pick up my mail? Oh, it's like, do I have everything in place is basically what I started thinking. It wasn't actually a near death experience. George says, what did I do? Apparently I missed something. No, you're fine. You're fine. I just said you wouldn't be caught dead on the Tower of Terror. Don't put George anywhere with it. He's going to have to fall from a terrible height. Although he would do it if you asked him to, but he wouldn't want to do it. But anyway, I wasn't actually a near death experience, but I had near death experience type thoughts. We'll just put it that way. And when I got out of there and I had to really calm myself down, my nerves were shot, all this stuff. It was an hour drive home. It actually was 30 minutes before I could get to my car, and then an hour drive home. And the whole time I was home, riding home, I just had Rebecca, I don't remember if I left you a message, but I don't think I did, which usually I would message Rebecca on Marco Polo, but I didn't do it because I was in my thoughts. But I can't remember if I did. I was really sitting there thinking about life, and sometimes it takes those moments of shaking you up when you really just have to think about what really is important to me and what is it I'm trying to build here. And in the end, in the grand scheme of things, like, it's fun to have hit 70,000 subscribers on YouTube. It's so fun to have 11,000 subscribers here. But I feel like I have spent too much time over the last few years looking at numbers and trying to determine whether, like, kind of not fully, because I know logically this isn't the case, but to some degree, allowing the external things that aren't as important to make me feel a certain way about my worth and how I'm doing in the world. Like, oh, that post didn't do as well. Not as many people showed up for this, or this didn't grow the way I wanted, or my income's down, or whatever. It's so easy in the world we live in right now to judge ourselves and how we're doing by numbers and metrics. And even though I know that's not the way I want to live my life, and I have put from the beginning of any kind of social media and writing and everything, I've always tried to put my passions first, my authenticity first, above any kind of algorithms or anything else. But it's always there in the back of my mind, right? Of like, well, maybe, if I did shorter videos, this would be more popular. Or maybe if I did this, it would be more popular. Or maybe I should follow that trend or that trend. And it can be very tempting sometimes to like want to go off my path Like, there's nothing wrong with following trends and trying to get better numbers and trying to make your business better. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that because we all do that and that's part of finding success. But there's a point sometimes where you go off your authentic path to try to chase something because you think that something is better. Rebecca says, I wondered why you didn't message me from the car. I was thinking, I think I just like rode home in silence while I was thinking and pondering. And I think for me right now, that plane ride was a shakeup. And this is something Gabriella had put on my Facebook post earlier that really meant something. And I hadn't put two and two together until Gabriella said it to me, that when I got home, literally as I'm driving through the garage, Evie, Andrew, and George come out to say hello. And Evie goes, there's a snake. And we saw this probably 8-foot snake, huge boy, slither right into our garage and curl up right there underneath Evie's old car seat. Because we have that still sitting there. Yeah, it was a bull snake. They do not mess around, y'all. It was huge. And at first, because we just saw his tail going in and we saw him curling up and he was kind of in a dark space, I couldn't get a good enough look at. I knew it wasn't a rattlesnake because I know what rattlesnakes look like. I've seen 1,000 of those in my lifetime, but I couldn't tell what it was. And there's the previous owner of this house had gotten bit by a copperhead snake. So I was like, let me just make sure. Yeah, as you told me on Instagram, he would now own my mortgage. It'd be nice if he could pay my mortgage. But it was a bull snake, totally harmless snake. It took a little bit of time to get him identified because George was like poking around and he just was hissing and like moving around, and it was so scary. I sent the kids inside. But really, if you think about snakes, they are symbols of transformation. They shed their old skin and become like new. And I think that Gabriella is right that those experiences for me of getting to see the impact of the community that I've built and the friendships that we have being real. And then having that moment of a shakeup of, I just needed something to put things back into perspective. Like, life, we don't get to live forever, sadly. And there are, still things I want to accomplish and things I want to build, and I need to get to it, right? And put the right things in front of me, because number of YouTube subscribers is fun, but man, that is the cherry on top, right? The meat, the cake is the relationship we have. The real thing is the relationship. The cherry on top is how many numbers or, whatever else. That's just fun stuff, right? And it just put it all into perspective. And then in combination with the snake and the fact that George and I both are like, we're not, we're both like going like this, trying to get him out, and he's not leaving. So we text our neighbor, and they come rushing home. Like, they weren't at their house. They come rushing home to help us get the snake out of our garage. And the fact that we found a home now, and earlier in the day, Edward, who's our neighbor on the other side, George had helped him get a snake out of his garage. So it's just like we found this community of people here that are going to stand up for us, that are going to be there for us, that are going to rush home to help us get a snake out. And then while George and I were at lunch on Thursday, Ben texted us and said, guess what? And he had a rat snake in his tractor. It was all curled up. He said he was trying to get his tractor started so he could mow our lawn, because our lawnmower won't because we let our grass grow when the bluebonnets are here, and we can't get, our tractor isn't big, like our mower isn't big enough to get that really tall grass. So he's going to mow our lawn for us, which is like an acre in the front. And he couldn't get his tractor started. So he just, oh, you didn't help. You just saw the picture. Okay. And so anyway, we come home to help Ben get the snake out of his tractor. I mean, it was just like so many snakes. And then George and I saw a tiny little snake that was probably this big on our walk today. So it's just snake season. But what we also saw was probably 1,000 butterflies. So signs of transformation are all around. And I know I have not ended up talking much about what I actually put on the title here, but it does all come around to this, which is thinking about the future, summer plans, getting motivation for what I really want, and getting back to 6 months for life. I haven't really like I haven't made great strides on some of the things in this first few months of the year that I had wanted to, because I feel like I've been still in this transitional space of getting rid of old energy and stepping into the new. And I feel more now than I have in years that because of this last few weeks, I can see so clearly who I am, who I want to be, what I want this community to truly be, how much and how rare it is of this relationship that we all have with each other, that we can get together every week and we can share this, and how much I want to continue to deepen that. And I know that the subscription is not going to be right for everybody, and it is going to be a paid community. So that's a little bit different than us being free here on YouTube. And I will love you whether you join or not. But it just brings so much. I feel so much clarity, and I feel I can't fully put it to words, but I feel alive with hope and energy for the future. And I hope you'll come join me on that. Continue to come with me wherever that leads. And, I don't know. I think even though there are difficult things going on in the world at large, I think there is still reason to hope and to still aim for all the things that we want to be and do, and to still allow ourselves to have joy. And I don't know. I feel that transformation. I feel it coming. And I think that between the plane ride that was scary and the snakes like in my house, it's just a crystal clear sign that transformation is coming. And I have been feeling it coming. And it's just a matter of, it's almost like the universe is saying to me, are you ready to flip that switch? Or are you going to just jump into old patterns again? Are you going to avoid this? Are you going to stand up and say, okay, I'm ready to be this person? And I was feeling that all night last night. I was journaling about it. I stayed up way too late. So then I ended up sleeping in today. And when I got to my tarot reading and my journaling, I drew the Empress card. And many of you know that is my lifetime growth card for tarot. And it's, the Empress is so much about birthing creative energy. It's about connection and nurturing and, everything I want to create inside the Broken Chapter Society here at Heart Breathings, it's all embodied in that one card, the Empress card. And the minute I saw that as the card I pulled today, when I was just journaling about that transformation and committing and saying, I'm ready for this, that's the card I drew. And I don't know. I was excited to share that with y'all today, because I feel like there's something really special brewing here, and I'm excited for it. And hopefully that will translate into, I'm pretty sure I know what the release date for Vanessa Shaw is going to be, but I've just got to put these final touches on the book. And so I'll hopefully be announcing that within the next week or two. And then my hope right now is to launch the founders tiers of the Broken Chapter Society by 1st of July. So I will keep you all updated on how that all goes. And I know I did not make it to the questions for today, but I could try to answer some. But summer plans for me, InkersCon, I saw somebody mention InkersCon, and I will be there. It's here in the Dallas area. So if you are coming to InkersCon in June, we will do a get together for that too. So stay tuned. Check your emails, all of that. Before InkersCon, we're flying as a family at the end of May to Raleigh. Hopefully we'll be happy, good flights with my kids. So if you're in the Raleigh area, we'll probably be getting together either Memorial Day or that Tuesday after. And so there will be a few weeks without coffee chats just because we'll be traveling. Yay. I'm definitely going to spend the day with Jen. I cannot wait to see you. It's going to be fun. But Jen and I will get together separately because we have so much to talk about. We'll also get together with the community. So that's all coming up, and I will keep you guys updated. I think what I'll do is I'll put out a schedule in the Coven kind of everywhere of which days we will not be having coffee chats and which day we will. So you can kind of have a schedule, and I'll try to keep up with Twitch too. We need to decide what we're playing next on Twitch. So that'll start up next week. But so summer might be a little off and on, but we'll see. June 14th. Is that your birthday or something, Kelly? I didn't realize. I think I forgot. If it is, I had forgotten it was so close to Andrew's birthday. June 14th would be an amazing release date for Disappearance of Vanessa Shaw. There will be, yeah, okay, it's your birthday. Maybe it'll be your birthday. Yeah, so if I will be in Arizona in July as well, that will be a very quick trip. So if we get together in July, it will either be the day I get in or the day I leave. So I will keep you guys updated on that. It would have to be something, probably just a quick thing. I don't know that I could do a dinner, but maybe a coffee shop for a couple hours. We'll see. It's a Friday this year. Okay, I will look at it. Okay, let me see if I do have any questions that I could answer real quick before we go. Roger Dodger did ask if we could do a tab for reference information. So yeah, we could do a channel for if anybody wants to share like books they loved on writing or other things like that. When are you coming to Ontario? I know I need to get you to Texas, or I don't know. We'll figure something out. So Katrina said, do you ever find yourself adding more stickies to your Kanban board during the quarter when you think of something you can do before the end of the quarter? I always have undone stickers. But even if you have undone stickers, if there's things that you know you're going to put on your plate, I personally would put the stickies on. And sometimes I will put a placeholder sticky at the beginning of the quarter where I'll say, like Shadow Demons Book Club, but I don't know if I'm going to actually get to it or not. And then if it turns out I do want to do it, I'll go in and add all those sticky notes. So if you know of a project that you're working on that you want to add, go ahead and add those sticky notes, because it will still feel the same way. It's not like cheating or anything. There's no rules. Just add them in. And you can always swap projects out. If you're like, I'm not going to do this, but I want to add this one in, you can take one off the board and put the other one on. And then Existential Chaos says, do you have any tips on how to get out of your own head regarding your writing? Too often I get into a pit of comparing myself to everyone, thinking I or my work isn't good enough. And I wonder if there's a point to it all. I think this is a good way to end. I think that all writers get in their head in that way, because we're not just creating in a bubble, we're creating for other people. And especially as we get towards the end of a book and we start opening up that window in our mind to the fact that other people are going to read this, it can start to feel a bit overwhelming of like, I can almost hear the criticisms in my head. Like, that's the same trope somebody else used, or that's too similar to this, or I hate it when authors do this, or this isn't quite good enough, or that didn't make sense, or this is boring. Like, there's any number of things that can go on in your head. And I think there's a couple different things to be done. One, if you're at a point where you're willing to share it with someone else, it can be super helpful to find a critique partner that is kind, that you can talk to about, here, read this chapter, and then you'll say, is this boring? And then they can let you know what they think. And if it's not boring, then you can feel a little bit confident. And if it is, they can give you tips on how to fix it. But sometimes we build it up in our head as like, this is boring. And then someone else reads it and they're like, oh my gosh, that was so fast paced. So we just don't always have a clear view of our writing. A second thing that you can do is the writing sprints when you are hanging out with other writers, like the Heart Breathings writing community stuff, because just getting that practice of, okay, I'm in my head, but I've got 20 minutes to write and I'm just going to keep moving forward. That can help. Another thing that helps me, and I've talked about this before, is just to literally put a note in my own writing that says, I know this sucks and I'm going to fix it later. It's like understanding or giving myself permission to admit that it's not the way I want it to be, and I'm going to keep moving forward. When it starts to feel pointless, though, and you start to feel like I just want to burn it all to the ground, that's just know that you're never alone in that so many writers feel that way. There have been so many times throughout Vanessa that I'm like, how will people react if I just have to say this book is just not good enough and I'm throwing the whole thing in the trash? But it's never that bad. It never means that it deserves to be in the trash. It's just what our brains do to us when we're trying to be creative and we're trying to push ourselves, because most writers are always on the edge of the that line of like our abilities, right? And we're pushing ourselves to that edge. And that is just part of it, that you're going to doubt yourself. So sometimes it's good to just step away from it for a couple of days, watch something that you love in that genre. So for me tonight, I'm watching I Know What You Did Last Summer, a good classic sort of horror. It, it's not really like my book at all, but it's just that sort of, it's in the same vein. Like, is this all in their mind? Who's really after them? You know, that who knows their secrets. And so I'm going to watch that tonight, and that gets me pumped up for it. So see if you can find your joy point and let the inspiration sort of blossom from that. So, and I do think that this can be true. The more you think your writing sucks, the closer you are to the truth. Not that your writing does suck, but the closer you are to actually putting something out that's authentic and real. And that just feels vulnerable. And so it can feel like nervous, but no, every author feels that way. Like, even the people that have sold millions and millions of books, they feel that way of like, this is the worst one. Like I somehow I made my other books good, but this one, I can't do it anymore. And it's not true. It's not true. All right. This was a good coffee chat. I hope you can feel just my gratitude and my love for all of you. I'm so grateful that we have this community, and I cannot wait to continue to build on it through the subscription. I have lots of little plans going on in my head. If you have any other ideas that you think of too, that you're like, oh, this would be cool to see in the subscription, feel free to send those my way too. You can put them in Discord or send me a DM on Instagram. I don't really check my Facebook DMs, so that's not a great place, but feel free to message me somewhere else and just say, hey, I have this idea. What about a full moon ceremony? Or what about a weekly tarot reading, or coffee chats, extra coffee chat? I don't know. But if you have ideas, keep sending them my way, because this is not for me. This is for us, right? So, all right. I love you guys. Thank you for sharing in my stories and my Friday. And I'm going to go hang out with Evie in a rare moment while George is, Andrew is at a school field day. So we get Evie just to ourselves for a little bit. So we're going to go hang out with her, and then we'll have a little family time tonight. And hopefully by the time you see me next weekend, my house will just be so incredibly organized. I can't wait to share that. And I will see you guys later. All my love. Let me find my outro. I got it. I keep forgetting it. All right, you guys, have an amazing weekend. I'll see you next week.